So let's talk about fashion and sports. Jamie, I'll start with you from the luxury perspective. Now, historically, luxury brands protected their exclusivity by staying away from mass market sports, right? Now we see companies like LVMH sponsoring the Olympics, your company, Jimmy Choo, collaborating with diverse icons. Is this about finding a new customer for companies like yours, or has the definition of luxury changed?
It's a great question, Sunny. Sport is no longer confined to the arena. It truly is about the tunnel. It is about celebrations. It's about the arrival. It's about post-game moments. Those are cultural moments that are actually shaping music, fashion, and sport. Luxury brands aren't entering sports as a performance brand. They're actually meeting culture where it gets filmed. And so what I would say is the tunnel is an extension of the new front row. And oftentimes you think about what's changed. You ask about that. The broadcast value of arrivals and off-field moments has exploded. Athletes such as Victor Cruz have become global icons and also entrepreneurs. And luxury brands are shifting from inaccessible to intentional and also curated. And athletes are creating that gateway to attract younger cultural audiences. And so I would say that storytelling is also quite critical. When brands such as Jimmy Choo want to collaborate with diverse icons, you have to think about alignment. You have to think about authenticity. And so I'm thrilled to announce that Jimmy Choo will be partnering with the first Emirati race car driver, Amna El-Kubasi.
Yes.
She will be featured in our Ramadan capsule dropping at the end of January. She is empowering and inspiring young girls all around the globe. She is igniting joy. She is empowering achievement, and those are two missions that are critical to Jimmy Choo.
So we're breaking news here at the World Sports Summit. Wonderful, thank you. Well, Victor, as you mentioned, I consider you sort of the first athlete that I can recall sitting in Paris, front row, at a fashion show. You sort of invented this, the athlete as a brand ambassador. So let me ask you, because I think you've been caring about fashion and what you wore before it became a contractual obligation, right? So when you look at the tunnel fits today, NBA, NFL, football, do you see genuine style, or do you see stylists just dressing players?
To be honest, I see a little bit of both. I think the ones that are genuine kind of stand out. Those are the ones that you pay a little bit more closer attention to, because they aren't, the clothes aren't wearing them, they're wearing the clothes, and they're really owning it and really putting their best foot forward when it comes to setting the tone and setting the mark from a fashion perspective. I'm excited for this time for players. I think when I was doing it and I was coming into the games and wearing my outfits, we didn't have cameras. And like the Giants now have a blue carpet for them to walk through, and they document everybody, and there's photographers outside. I didn't have that. We had to manufacture it a little bit more. We had to make sure that I was seen a little bit more. That's why being one of the first to go to Milan as a New York athlete was so important for me. Being the first to go to Paris and sit at front row, being one of the first to be the first football player to be in a Givenchy ad way back then was just so important, because I wanted to break those barriers and show that athletes can be important in this luxury aspect as well. And we can be able to hold a high standard and have a platform that made sense. And I wanted to be the one to set the tone. And now you see it, you know, tenfold, and guys are doing it all over the place, and debuting different collaborations, and you know, Travis Kelce doing things with American Eagle, and just all these different collaborative things that are coming to fruition. I was happy that I was able to set the tone, and it was very, very intentional from the very beginning.
From the very beginning. Well, you mentioned Milan, and so I have to go to you, Michael. You have this unique advantage being based in the fashion capital of the world. How much of your commercial strategy, though, is about winning Serie A versus winning Fashion Week? And can you monetize cool even if a team has a bad session?
So first and foremost, the most important thing is winning football games. That's the most important thing, and you got to keep the main thing. But for us as a brand, as a global brand, I think not just being based in Milan, but the way that this club represented itself on a global stage for multiple decades, the players that came through, a lot of them, some of them are here, were here yesterday. This brand always stood for elegance and for being a very fashionable football club. This naturally allowed us, when we started a slightly new positioning around 2019, 2020, this allowed us to really lean on that heritage from a success perspective, but also from a fashion positioning perspective. And I have a little book here with me in case it gets too boring. It's a book with a lot of pictures. And, as we talk about fashion and sports coming together today, AC Milan already more than 25, 30 years ago had this relationship with Dolce & Gabbana,
Yes.
where they created lookbooks for the individual players. I'm not going to show these embarrassing pictures for some of the people probably in the room, but this was the first step of the club to say we are more than just a football brand. We are a global icon in a way. To answer the second question, can you be commercially successful through this strategy, even though if you don't win games? We have been through a bit of a journey in trying to repolish that fashion stigma that the club had. We had a bit of a coming out party. I want to say it was around 22, 23. We launched a partnership with Off-White, and we played Chelsea. I remember that in Champions League, and that was Victor's first football game in Europe.
Correct, yes.
So Victor was there, and we shared a cap after the game together by pure coincidence.
Yeah.
And our players came out with these big varsity jackets, and it gave us a lot of credibility. It gave us a moment of relevance, and I think there is even a not so positive video that we have from CBS that talked about.
Well, let's take a look at that.
Yeah. It's better with sound.
It is better with sound. Can you talk us through what?
I can talk you through.
Yes.
So basically what happened here was, they spend a good 5 minutes talking about that if you walk out with those jackets, you better win the game. And was not the most positive segment, but it gave us 5 minutes of relevance.
Actually, I think we do have the sound now. Let's try.
Can we go back to AC Milan coming out onto the pitch and warming up? Because did we clock the gear that they were wearing, the Off-White deal that they've now signed?
Oh yeah, this is a big
Jamie,
beach.
what do you know about Off-White, Jamie? Not much.
Michael's teeth.
Mike, have you got any Off-White in your closet?
No, it's a little bit fancy. Got a little,
Do you?
little bits and pieces, yeah.
Terry, what do you think about this? An American dressing Italians, how about that?
You can just carry it on.
You know what?
AC Milan, you can carry it on.
Yeah, I mean, it goes with it, but I said it before.
It what a bit?
You better play well. Because if you come with those jackets and you lose today,
Expectations,
leave them in the dressing room.
So we lost the game 3-0.
Now, how did they do? Did they lose that
We
game?
lost the game 3-0. We had Naomi Campbell in our box. We were very proud. This was, as I said, the coming out moment. The moment we were 2-0 down, she posted on Instagram, "Go Chelsea." So it didn't go as planned. We reached the Champions League semi-final this year, so we saved ourselves.
Yes.
But I guess it shows that it goes a bit hand in hand. It can go hand in hand. And we have been commercially very successul with this partnership and many more ever since. So
If any players gave their jacket back, I'll gladly take one.
I was going to say, I'd like that jacket.
we actually, we still have some. So we're gonna, we have something for after this.
Okay, thank you.
Noted.
Moment.
And I would just also touch on, in 2018, Jimmy Choo collaborated with Off-White Virgil as well. So I think it just shows this natural connectivity of sports and fashion and sport that has been happening for quite some time.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, let me ask you this, John. John Carney, you are the head of product for Classic Football Shirts. So can you tell us a little bit about the origin story of that brand?
Yeah, so Classic Football Shirts, we're a retailer based in the UK. We started in 2006, just selling vintage shirts at the time. And through the popularity of vintage secondhand football shirts, we've grown to become one of the largest retailers of football shirts in the world. So we sell online. We also have 5 stores across the world. We've really kind of ridden the wave, I guess, of this burst in popularity of football shirt and football shirt fashion that we've seen, especially over the last 6-7 years.
And I believe even the likes of Drake have been using your shirts.
Yeah, I mean, not our shirt specifically, but Drake is a very much a moment that's memorable. He wore a shirt in 2018, and in the football shirt community in the wider world, it was a really impactful moment. People all of a sudden wanted to wear the football shirt, even if they weren't necessarily into football as a sport. And that's really become a theme over the last few years. People just wearing the shirts because they like the design rather than supporting the teams.
Interesting. Well, Jamie, let me go back to you, because when a luxury brand enters the sports space, how do you balance the aesthetic with the utility of it? Do athletes actually care if the shoe performs, or is it purely about the fashion of it all?
I think it's a bit about both, but I think it's less about the compromise and more about redefining performance and utility through a luxury lens. And so luxury brands really have to do due diligence to ensure that they are setting a really clear and defined objective, thinking about sport, utility, thinking about heritage for the brand, thinking about experiential, whether it's wellness or actually on sport or on-field sport. So that's really important. I think for luxury brands, we want to make sure that we are creating that connection.
And I think you also have a video.
We do. We have a Mabon video that's going to be shown.
I like that.
So that was our second outing of our Mabon collaboration that dropped in April of 2025. And I think what's really important that video shows is that we need to make sure we protect key anchors, and that could be silhouettes as well as brand codes. And what's featured within our Mabon collaboration was our Diamond Maxi sole. It was re-engineered with diamond cleats so that there was functionality for the golf course. And so oftentimes you have to think of the connectivity, and if it doesn't belong within the brand's main collection, it doesn't belong in sport either. And for us, this collaboration was a wonderful celebration, a playful collaboration, celebrating the world and of sport and golf and the passionate community that people feel around that. So it was great for us.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Michael, let me ask you this, because speaking of collaborations, that collaboration with Off-White was really a game changer, right, for your team, and it gave the players. The uniforms look like streetwear, which is very popular, of course, in the United States. Did you face any internal resistance from traditional football purists who just thought it was too different, too radical?
Yeah, that's a great question. There is always a bit of a reluctance and resistance when you try to do things differently and when you approach things in a different way. We have a bit of a mantra in our organization where we say we want to do things differently. We want to set a standard for others to follow, and we want to do this, look at it through the lens of performance, because we're a football club after all, purpose, because we're a social institution, and culture. And culture for us, obviously being based in Milan, is centered a lot around fashion and design.
Right.
What Off-White allowed us to do was really to bring these three elements together and come up last year with our fourth kit collaboration with Puma and with Off-White. All three came together because, you know, we basically said, what is the story of a fourth kit? You know, if you keep doing these fourth kit and you're doing them with different designers, at one point you need to start having a really strong story and lead with that story rather than with design. And we created a jersey that kind of celebrated or paid homage to Virgil Abloh.
Yes.
It celebrated black excellence, and it was a jersey for the dreamers. Now, coincidentally, the year 1963, which is embroidered in the back of the jersey, is the year in which Martin Luther King gave the I Have a Dream speech.
Right.
But at the same time, AC Milan won their first European Cup. So that allowed us to create something extremely unique, which at the same time didn't play with the traditional colorways of AC Milan. So there was a lot of resistance, I would say, from some parts of our fan group. It was the most successful jersey we have ever sold.
I was going to ask that.
yeah.
How successful was it, though?
It was the most successful jersey. It was obviously very limited. It's, you know, we do these jerseys always with an element of scarcity in mind. But it was the fastest selling jersey. It sold out in the months of March last year. We had 2 iterations. It sold out mainly because the international audience bought the jersey. In Milan, the hardcore fans, they weren't too thrilled with the design of the jersey. So we always try to find the right balance. You know, we turned 125 years old, and we did a jersey for our hardcore fans, traditional, no sponsors, the traditional logo. The fans could vote on the design. That's for them. This is for a slightly different audience. So yes, it's not always easy to get it right, and if you experiment, sometimes you also fail, and you have to admit, and you have to readjust. But we try to, on our fashion journey, if you can call it that, we try to produce a product for all the different segments that you can find in that world of more than 500 million people that love AC Milan.
Right. Well, Victor, for the young athletes that are coming up, anyone in the room, how much did your off-field style contribute to your post-career business opportunities?
I think it directly reflected. I think a lot of the things and a lot of the platforms that I created for myself while I was playing just helped benefit me off the field as well. I think anytime I went out and presented myself and showed my personality and showed who I was, it benefited me off the field as well, and things that I was
Salsa dancing at the time.
The dancing definitely helps
Dancing
as well.
helps.
I mean, it definitely did not help. It always was an attribute to whatever I was doing. So the dance definitely helps, but I just knew that branding myself in that way and putting myself out there, whether it's through my clothing or through my personality or through dancing, I knew that it was going to bring an element of business to me outside of the game. And you know, I'm 9 years removed from the game now, and I'm still being able to take meetings, being able to collaborate, being able to lend my name to certain brands and things of that nature. And just seeing the things that Stephen Malbon is doing with Jimmy Choo and bringing streetwear aspect to luxury and bridging that gap and both sides winning. Those are the things that I keep in mind mentally when I'm going out into the market, how to bridge the gap between both sides of myself and the brands that I'm working with, or just individual things that I'm doing by myself. I always try to think of storytelling, which is always a major component, and how to bridge the gap. So if I'm speaking to a kid out there, I will tell him to start now. I think a lot of times when I go back to the Giants and I'm in the locker rooms or I'm moving around, a lot of guys ask me, how do I do this? Or what's the key to like still being relevant and doing things even post-career?
Well, let me just ask you that because we were discussing this yesterday in terms of American football players. I guess the vesting is about 3 years.
Correct.
Most players play about 3 years. You played longer than that. I think you played about 8 years.
Yes.
All right. But that is unusual. And so do you consider fashion an avenue for really extending what is generally a 3-year career?
Absolutely. If it's your passion, if it's something you're passionate about, if it's something that you see a true love for and you can see yourself doing it when you're done as well, for sure. I always say those meetings that you want to have as a current player, those CEOs and those people are going to answer the phone for a current player faster than they're going to answer the phone for a retired player. So as a current player, do it now. Don't worry about, if you're not as heralded or you're not the guy that you think you should be making these calls. Have the conversations. Put yourself out there, because you never know what's going to happen. You never know what opportunities are waiting for you on the other end of that phone. And, it's funny, I was talking with your son yesterday, and he was telling me about a book he read about getting a bunch of no's. And that really resonated with me about, man, get a bunch of no's. Like if you start, but that means you're active. That means you're calling people. That means you're making the calls, and that yes will come around the corner. So don't be afraid of hearing those no's early on.
I always say that no is the first answer on the road to yes, and you learn more from failure than you do from success.
Absolutely.
Every single time. Every single time. So, John, going back to you, your company has been very successful, started in 2006. You're now worldwide in 150 countries, selling 80% of your sales are online, but you do have stores, brick and mortar stores, a very successful one in the United States. You sold 300,000 classic shirts just this year, so congratulations on that. Tell us about your investors and why people should invest in your company.
Well, classic football shirts were very uniquely positioned in the market because we are a real one-stop shop for football shirts. We have the biggest variety of football shirts in the world. We work with more clubs and brands probably than any other sort of sports or football retailer. We also, whilst we do sell brand new stock that we get from clubs and brands, we also sell the vintage shirts as well, and I think that's a real USP. And we are looking to the future, and we feel like that size of the business, part of the business, is going to continue to grow. We feel like clubs can explore that opportunity themselves as well, not just because it's sustainable, but because it's commercial. More and more fashion brands are developing what we call take-back schemes. And I feel like the football industry and the sports industry can really take a lead in that, and not just because of the sustainability, but because, as I said, the commercial benefits. As an example, we did a pop-up event with Bayern Munich in their Munich store for a week in October, and it was a record-breaking week for them. And in that, we sold vintage. We had a take-back scheme where customers could bring back their used jerseys. And it's a really exciting time to be involved in the business, and we think there's a big opportunity there for other clubs to work with us in a similar way.
And my understanding is that you have some very well-known investors that have joined.
Yes, Rob McElhenney, who is of fame from the comedy Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He's also famously the co-owner of Wrexham, if you've seen the TV show. Also Gerard Piqué, former Barcelona legend, and also Alex Morgan, the American great women's soccer player as well.
Okay. Well, I understand, I'm being told, that you have brought 30 of your favorite shirts for us to see. Is that correct?
It is, yes. We have some coming out, I think.
I think we do. So shall I cue the music? All right, let's get them out.
That's it.
presents that we can bring on.
I
Since
love-
we're
I love
talking
a
about
present.
jerseys. The AC Milan jerseys came so late. I don't have something for you, but we'll do that afterwards. You have plenty of.
I've got enough shirts, don't worry.
Okay.
Yes?
Yes, we have a little something for you guys, if you could.
Thank you.
If it's coming.
Oh, Gate this coming.
Wear the shirts. We heard in the background. So.
I'm being told they are on their way.
There we go.
Here they are.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Okay,
Oh, they
wait.
got
No, I
names
think
on.
there's names.
Yep, Cruz.
This
You
one.
got it?
Thank you.
This is Hasten.
Yes.
Okay.
Are we opening them?
They're not entirely retro, but they're very.
wonderful.
So, we have the whole lineup here.
It's fire.
Amazing.
Thank you.
So much.
This is good.
We will wear them well.
This is sick.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to be so fashionable.
Victor's got the best one.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you everyone for your attention.
Yes, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.